Very late today, Channel 2 Action News and the Atlanta Journal-Constitution filed a formal complaint with the state attorney general, accusing the city of Atlanta of repeated violations of the Georgia open records law. Channel 2 investigative reporter Richard Belcher live in downtown Atlanta. And Richard, the complaint asks the state to mediate the dispute and order the city to acknowledge it failed to follow the law.
Justin, the complaint is the product of a long-running frustration about how the city of Atlanta handles the release of public records, especially under former Mayor Kasim Reed. About a month ago, we discovered evidence that then Mayor Reed's press secretary had intentionally obstructed the release of some potentially embarrassing water billing records. Morning, Jenna. Like to talk to you about these emails, these texts, where you clearly attempted to evade the law. Trying to get answers from Mayor Reed's former press secretary, Jenna Garland, who texted a subordinate about our request for water bills of city council members. Be as unhelpful as possible, drag this out as long as possible, and provide information in the most confusing format available. Those texts triggered a criminal investigation by the GBI to see if any city staffers had violated the criminal portion of the open records law. But the complaint filed by Channel 2 and the AJC goes well beyond that one incident. This complaint contends there is a culture of political interference with open records here at City Hall. Nearly all of the examples cited in the complaint took place while Kasim Reed was mayor and involved requests for records by the AJC and Channel 2 Action News. Among them, purchase card records for Mayor Reed and his chief financial officer, Jim Beard. Billing records from a private law firm hired by the city for the federal bribery investigation. Records of police recruits and the cost of their training. Records of incarcerations in the city jail, plus municipal court calendars, and records of travel expenses for a trip to South Africa.
This is an enormously positive act on behalf of journalism in the state because it allows small organizations to know that the large organizations are setting out to blaze a trail to open government.
The complaint asks State Attorney General Chris Carr to mediate the dispute between the city and the AJC and Channel 2. Among our requests, that the city acknowledge that it failed to comply with the open records law and promise to comply in the future. Establish an independent open records office not subject to political interference, and the two sides should agree to a system for monitoring and enforcing compliance by the city.
Local governments need to have a culture of being open. Local government, state government are there to serve the people. The records are the people's records.
The Attorney General's office sent a statement this afternoon that says it will review the facts and circumstances and, if appropriate, will attempt to mediate a resolution. Mayor Bottom's office sent a statement that says it looks forward to a robust dialogue with Channel 2, with the AJC, with the Attorney General's office, and with all members of the media. It also says that the mayor's office is actively reviewing how the city handles open records requests. Live at City Hall in downtown Atlanta, Richard Belcher, Channel 2 Action News.
This is clearly an important issue, and Richard, and for the viewers at home, why does this matter to them, this kind of transparency?
Yeah, look, this is not a reporter's open records law. This is the public's open records law, and thousands of members of the public use it every year. For example, you're a parent in a neighborhood, you think there's a dangerous intersection, you want to get records from the state patrol or from your local sheriff about how many accidents have been there. You file an open records request. If everything goes right, the agency complies, and you get what you want. If the agency doesn't comply, then the law, we believe, has been broken. We believe the city government here has repeatedly violated the law many times over the past few years. That's the basis of Channel 2's and AJC's complaint.
Richard, thank you very much. We have more details on the open records investigation. Former Mayor Kasim Reed's former press secretary, Jenna Garland, moved out of public office in February. She's now doing work in the private sector. Earlier this week, we confirmed former communications director Ann Torres is no longer working for the city of Atlanta. Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms promised to make big changes to improve transparency at City Hall.